All right, so this isn't going to be the most exciting movie, but I think that a lot of you are curious about prices, and I said that I would let you know how much the build cost. So I've done my best to categorize the costs for each kind of segment of the build, each thing that could be kind of classified together. So I will give you the cost and also a few things that included, as well as any lessons learned. And I will also at the end let you know the weight of the van build and include links in the description to everything that I think you might want links for. And feel free to ask me anything once you see this, if something is missing or if you want anything more specific to drill down further. Okay, by far the biggest category is going to be the electrical, and I've included the roof rack itself in this as well. Total $3,750. In this category, I have included the whole electrical system with the batteries, the inverter, on-off switch. Not only does this include those major electrical components, but also cabling is not cheap. So a lot of different wires were needed, and fuses, fuse boxes, all the little connections to hook them together. It was very complicated, and I'm glad that Dave did that part. Lessons learned on the electrical. The biggest one, I think, was we ran the wires from the van to the batteries so that they could charge from the alternator. And you actually need a different size cable, not only depending on what you're doing in the load, but also how far away those cables are going to have to go. So we started out with one size and then had to go back and buy the other size. David already wired it when he realized that that distance also made a difference. So there was some money we could have saved had we known that to begin with. But that was probably the biggest lesson learned with the electrical. The next biggest category was the windows. Total about $1,716. So I got 2 rear sliders, the small ones. There they are back there. I got my slider for the kitchen. And then in my slider door, I got a non-sliding window. I got the windows on sale. The windows were supposed to function and appear just like they should, but there were minor flaws that were not supposed to be noticeable, which is why they were on clearance at significant savings. So definitely check those clearances on the websites when you're doing your van build out. I would say that that was mostly true. The larger slider in the kitchen is really, really sticky. I cannot open it very far, like 2 inches. I think if I do something with the padding that it slides through, that might help. Anyway, I digress. So those were the 4 windows. The lesson learned on that one was a big one. Our caulk gun malfunctioned, and instead of stopping, I kept going. So the window where it was functioning correctly was perfect. The other 3 I needed to have professionally reinstalled. That was a cost of almost $500 that could have been saved. So that was a hard one. Ouch. The next category is appliances and bed. Total $1,655. This category includes the bed frame, the mattress, the bedding, the diesel heater, the table mount, the refrigerator, and the rechargeable faucet. Oh yeah, also the sink. I don't think there were any big lessons to be learned on that one. I guess the closest I could say was really visualize, get out a measuring tape, get out your cardboard boxes and visualize. If you are like me and distance and space are hard to imagine, really build that model of, especially the refrigerator in my case. The refrigerator, it's a great refrigerator, it's huge, but I definitely did not want it that large. I would have rather traded about 1/3 of that space for more storage. So there's my lesson learned on that one, but the refrigerator itself I'm quite happy with. Okay, this is the accessories category, which was the next one down, $1,279. This doesn't include like the little art and things like that. This was the seat cushions, the material for the window covers, the swivel. The seat swivel is one of the big ones. The bug screen, a step stool, things that I felt were more functional accessories rather than just like my own personal like design style accessories. So things that other people might actually want to get as well. I guess I don't really have any good lessons learned for that category. The next category in cost is lumber, ceiling, and flooring at $1,265. The flooring is not really lumber. It was a Home Depot home flooring, the vinyl flooring, and I've been really happy with it. A lot of people were concerned that it might pull apart, slide around. So far, so good. I've been on some pretty bumpy roads, actually, unintentionally, and they've been doing great. I definitely need to get a better cleaning system for them. I've got a broom, but I think a little vacuum would be nice. Lessons learned on this one. This is a big one. First of all, the flooring. I had never done flooring before, and I did have to do some extra cuts where I didn't quite have it lined up because these click into place a certain way. So I probably could have got by with one box less had I been very precise with the way that I put it in to begin with. That would have been great and a nice savings. And then we have a lot of extra lumber, so definitely could have saved some money on the lumber. As you can see, and now a little bit of this wood we already had, but as you can see, there's quite a bit left, and we will be using some of it probably. I'd like to build a small dresser. Measure everything that you want to put in here. Decide exactly what type of wood you're going to use to make it before you buy the wood. Don't just have the projects in your mind and go to Home Depot and think, oh yeah, probably 2 sheets ought to do. That's kind of, I think, what we did, and I definitely think we could have. We're going to use some more of the lumber we have left over, but there was a lot of extra. Here is a surprising category: tapes, paints, fasteners, and goos. Various goos. This included stain, a lot of different caulking, screws. We were going to use a lot more of the riv nuts in our build and bought some of those and didn't. So we had some left over of those, but really mostly just, it was a surprise at how much everything cost. Really adds up. Butyl tape, foil tape, all the various different spray adhesive. Like it just was incredible, the number of cans of toxic stuff that I was buying. In addition, we have quite a few of the Craig screws left. Now these are really handy. It's not like we're not going to use them, but still a little bit more careful planning. I just recommend, like, learn from our mistakes if you want to be lean with your build. But definitely be aware that this is almost like a hidden category, I would say, and that's the lesson learned as a whole. That you know, you're thinking about the big picture and you forget about all the little things behind the scenes that hold it together. Second to last category, we've got the sound and thermal insulation. So under the floor, I have foam board, and the rest of the van was that Thinsulate insulation. It works really well. It's actually an acoustic insulation, but it works well for thermal as well. And I don't think I have any lessons learned on this one. I think the last category, $240 on tools. This was a Craig jig, the electric caulk gun, a few other things. Dave had most of the tools we needed. There were a couple I didn't count because Dave wanted to get those anyway for his projects, so they aren't counted in this cost. So it could actually be, you know, much higher than this. The price of the van itself was $22,000. The price of the build-out was about $11,500, which brings the total of my little RV to $33,500. As far as weight, the original weight is about 4,750 pounds, so my build-out was about 2,210 pounds. I'll include links in the description to some of the build-out items.